Okay, it looks like it says I'm live right now, so I'm give me a sound check. That would be great. 5 by 5 is fine. I had to add something to the stream, and it caused a major problem. So you guys should be seeing me right now. Looks like on my backup computer that I am live. I just can't tell if my sound is good or not. Good morning, 5 by 5, perfectly. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you. Okay, let's see here. Actually, man, this morning has been just a crazy morning. I'll be honest with you, I was not prepared as of 8 a.m. this morning, but I am now. Um, I had some tech issues, but let's see. I did add the banner right there. I'm going to I'll put it in the not, you know what, can I actually do that right now? I think yes, I can. I think I can. More shit, I cannot because it's live. Because it's live. It won't let me put anything in the comments until afterwards. So if you're watching this, I will be putting the link to Grindstone Ministries at in the actual description afterward. Not the description, but the um. Hell, it might be in the description. I don't know. Let me check. Let's see here. Communities, join. Nope, it's not there. I'm going to be putting it inside of the actual comments. I'll pin it to the top. Guys, you guys, I know you guys who are here now, the loyal subscribers, followers, whatever you want to call yourselves today, um, the that you guys have been subscribed have been supporting Grindstone Ministries, guys. These guys are knocking it out of the park. Um, let's see why does my sound okay? All right, good. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at lots of doodads over here on this screen, and they're telling me everything's fine, but sometimes you get a feel for this, and things just aren't as they seem. Anyway. The this video today, we often talk about like apocalypse, end of the world, and that's really not what this video is about today. This video today is about um, will America survive? Will America survive? We've all got this sinking feeling in our chest, in our stomachs, some tips of our toes, that things are going downhill rapidly, and it's I personally don't worry too much about me, about my children, but I do worry about my grandchildren because my children are going to live in a world where, every day they're going to be tired of worrying. And we're already seeing that. We're already feeling that, the girlfriend asked me yesterday, it's like, are you okay? What's going on with you? And I told her, said, I'm just tired. She's like, tired of what? So I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being angry at what is happening in the world. And I'm just grasping to try and find something good, to cling to, something good that I can see is actually real in the world. And that's one of the reasons that I'm supporting Grindstone Ministries. They're just doing so much good, but it makes you think like, how how long does America have? How long does America have before this whole thing is over with? And I think that the people that are here now, I think that we all think that it's going to be like in a week, in a day, in a month, but it's going to take years. Almost it'll take a lot of years before things can go downhill to the point where America's over. The experiment, I really hate that term, the experiment, because experiments are temporary and experiments have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it bothers me. So if you guys didn't know this, I actually do use artificial intelligence. I use AI, I use ChatGTP, I use several other AI platforms to do research, to come up with hypotheses. And so this morning, because I was a little out of it, to be honest with you, all this weekend, we didn't have. I was kind of thankful that there was a national holiday on Monday. It's called Columbus Day, not any other day, not any other attachments. It's Columbus Day. Um, so I've been like in kind of a little bit of a world of deep thought where I could really like explore what it is that we're doing. And it all came out to one question. It's like, how long is this going to last? How long is this going to ask? So, I was talking to my little buddy, GTP or GPT or whatever the hell it is, and and no, I wasn't actually like having a conversation with him, but believe it or not, you can. Anyway, and just asking very pointed questions. And I got some answers that were very ingenious. You're like, well, how does this machine know this? Well, it's called deep thinking. It's called a lot of things. Which cup am I gonna drink? I've actually my local prepper cup is in the girlfriend's car from the weekend, so I basically I'm double fisting it today. I've got I've got 2 cups of coffee today. I'm going to start off with the classic. And come on, Jerry. Jerry, if you're ever watching this, brosif, this one's for you. If you guys don't know the history of these cups, yeah, you can actually buy them, by the way. Believe it or not, I actually do have a merch store that I never advertise. But anyway, so having a good conversation with old Chat GTP and finding out some relevant issues that actually made sense, and so I wanted to share them with you. But before we do that, I feel I'm sorry, I'm not streaming from my normal software, so I'm a little bit remiss, and it looks like Dog and Ball Pony was first. Cindy Hoffman was number two, and it was Virginia Pappy was deterred. We got All Righty. We got Light Raider. We got Tuck. We got JB. We got Rose. Major Ken is in the house. What time is the 9 a.m. live? Your mama. Anyway, let's see. Good to see you, Major Ken. Glad to see you're safe and back from your mission. Shouldn't you be heading out in another 5 days? Let us know. If you guys didn't know this, Major Ken actually got selected and made it out to the Grindstone Ministries uh, operations. Let's see here. Miss Melody's in the house. Let's Star Canada. Ian's in the house. We got Pastor Reality. Bob Peta. I'm running out. Tuck V's here. Civil Defense prepping. About 3. He says we only have about 3 weeks left. Yeah, because there's 21 days left until the election, and then we all think that the world's going to fall apart. And things will get bad, but it's gonna get worse. Let's see here. Silent Warrior. What's good this morning? Coffee, brosif. Lots and lots. Copious amounts of coffee. I don't recognize you, bro. Do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. There's several reasons, and there's none in any particular order. And so what I basically asked uh the AI, the super intelligence that's going to kill us all eventually. I asked it, I said, and I didn't write the question down. I really should have, so I could give it to you verbatim. But what are the chances of Americans still remaining as a single cohesive nation in the next 20 years? And I told it to go out to the internet and analyze current trends, current events, news articles, things like that. And it came back and it said, so here's the first thing it talked about. So it identified economic resilience, like how powerful is our dollar in the world, and it gives us an 85% chance. America's economy is one of the most diverse and innovative in the world, with a robust financial system, technological leadership, and a strong consumer markets. However, long-term threats like rising national debt, we're at over 33 trillion right now, inflation, and global economic shifts, e.g., the rise of China as an economic rival, could strain this resilience. While economic cycles of recession and recovery are normal, if the wealth gap continues to grow, economic instability could exacerbate social unrest, threatening the national unity. So, hey, good morning, Catitude. Good to see you. So the thing is with the economic resilience, we've got to factor in BRICS. We've got to factor in all of the countries that are logging into that and trying to destabilize America through making sure that America can't use the power of sanctions. And so 85%, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, if you guys are new to the channel, the way this works is I read something, you write something, I talk about what you wrote. And so let's see, Pastor of Reality says America's I can make that bigger. That's right. I forgot about that. Give me 1 second, guys. I can make it bigger. That's what she said. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Does anyone have sound, music, or anything? Cindy, I think you should probably. I am 5 by 5, correct, guys? I mean, I'm looking at this little meter. It says my microphone is working. So please, somebody make sure. Let's see. LP is it shows up when it shows up. Where we at here? Obviously, you are at home. No trip. Yeah. Something happened, but it's everything is okay. I'm still going to Kansas. Let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says he's tired of waiting for something to change, good or bad. Yeah, I know it's getting to be a pain in the butt. Let's see here. What do we got here? I'm not sure why, Pastor. I'm not sure why your thing is green. Oh, because you're new. Pastor, did you just join the member? Like, share, subscribe. Um, where are we at here? And Laszlo showed up. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So I thought there was a question in there. Coffee is always good in the morning. I think I made the chat too big and now I can't see the all of the lines that I want to see. It's a pain in the butt. Um, okay, we're good. Mr. J, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. All right, so that's the big thing, and that should tell you something, guys, is that America basically runs on money. There's that dream, the American dream, until you buy your first house, you never really think of anything. You think $10,000 is a lot of money until you buy a house, and then you realize, yeah, it's not a lot of money. So anyway, all right. So let me scroll down here. Just keep an eye on that shit. The next thing, political polarization, 65% chance of keeping things going, keeping things alive. So political division in America has grown sharper, and the increasing ideological split between parties is one of the country's most significant challenges. If polarization continues to deepen, it could lead to more gridlock, undermining governance and fostering regional and state level secessionists movements seceding from the Union. While most Americans still believe in the federal system, the risk of severe political disruption or conflict within the next 20 years is real. So we're over 50%. We're in the 65 percentile rating, right? All right. So the third thing is autocorrect, my greatest enema. And anemia. And did you just type enema or anemia? It's supposed to be enemy, I think. Your autocorrect's really after you today. Let's see here. So the next thing is social cohesion and demographics. So we're still high at 70%. And the higher the numbers, the better in this particular case, guys. So just so you know. America's population is diverse, which has historically been a strength, but issues around race, immigration, and social equality remain contentious. By 2040, the demographic shifts will result in a more diverse populace, and how well America manages these shifts will affect social cohesion. If tension remains high or worsens, and if the urban-rural divides increase, social fragmentation could intensify, weakening the national fabric. I would argue that we're basically there. Andy, good to see you, Broseph. Good to see you. The next one, believe it or not, is actually kind of interesting because, unfortunately, most of these AI engines are focused. They do have a left-leaning bias, but some of the things that they say that are to the left aren't totally out, way out there off the cliff, basically. So, climate change and environmental impact is at 60%, which is still above 50, so we're good. So, climate change is expected to have severe impacts on American infrastructure, agriculture, and communities. Rising sea levels, wildfires, and more frequent hurricanes could displace millions of Americans and strain resources. Regions like the Southwest and coastal cities will be most affected. The U.S. ability to adapt to these changes through infrastructure projects and sustainable practices, there's the AI being a liberal, will shape its capacity to maintain stability, especially between regions with differing climate impacts. So basically, what it's saying is that where the environment is being severely impacted, it will affect human beings, human lives, the way they do things, the way they get around. Places will become colder, places will become hotter, places will become drier, places will become wetter. And that is going to drive what's happening in humankind, in human where we are as humans. You know what? I want to adjust something real quick. Just real quick, guys. I need to see something. There we go. All right, so I'm happy with that. Let's see. I'm going to minimize that. I want to be able to see that. The analytics. And oh, you know what? I forgot to check. The poll. The poll. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and click that one right there. We'll change it up a little bit. So currently we're at 32 votes, which is awesome. 41%. The question is based on the current trends. What is the likelihood that America will remain a unified country in 2080? 41% believe we will be. 28% believe that's somewhat unlikely, and 30 to 50, and 22% say somewhat likely between 50 to 70%, and very likely. Only 9% believe that we will still be a unified country in 2080. Well, we're going to find out because I've got some very, very interesting results. It can get a little crazy. It can get a little crazy when you start to add a bunch of things in. Here's what I'll say about climate. They always talk about rising seas and the running meme is just like on the left, they'll show you a picture of a coastline where like a town or city is, and it's the coastline, like from 1900, right? And then they'll show it to you from 2024, and there's like no change. I personally know somebody who is in the environmental space who works in it every single day, and there's no sea rise. It's just a talking point. Now, if you guys didn't know this, the climate does change and it does affect people. How badly will it affect us? There is no telling. We're not going to die next week. We're not going to die in 100 years because the amount of climate change is all based off of adaptability. And we've always been able to adapt to our environment. It's one of the greatest things about being a human being. Um, so we here on the Eastern Shore of Virginia, it hasn't snowed since I want to say 2019. So 5 years without a snow. No, I it did. So, let me set the record straight. When I say snow, I mean it like it stuck to the ground. You can take pictures of it. It did melt away the next morning, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It didn't snow in the afternoon and it stuck to your windshield wipers a little bit, and then it was gone by the end of the day. It actually like a real snow, like 6 inches, half a foot. Something substantial. That stuck around for a few days. It hasn't snowed here since 2019. So, although we had some flurries this last winter, we'll see. But it means that things are changing. It means that our seasons are changing. Maybe they're rotating. I don't know. I'm not a climate scientist, but I can tell you that the seas are definitely not rising. So, um, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that poll because I think that it gets big on the screen too, doesn't it? There we go. Okay, so we'll make that smaller, I think. I hopefully that's what's going to happen on the live stream. I don't know. Whenever I make it bigger, you guys get to see it. I can't believe I said that. All right, so I'm not seeing it shrink. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that it's doing that, but all I can do is say I'm sorry. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go to the chat real quick here because I saw some stuff come in and I've been running my suck. Major Ken says not sure if they will be doing construction rehabbing in the future. Yeah, I got you, bro. There's no telling what they're going to be doing, but hey, listen, if you get called back and you can go, then good stuff. Scorpion Meadows, good to see you, bro. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's see. Grumpy Acres, Grumpy's in the house. It may not be unified. Americans will still exist, though. Yeah, well, it could be, that's why we have Floridians and Texans and Virginians and so on. That's why we have those things. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So Tuck says empires collapse, humankind continues. Very true, very true. Let's see here. We all think about who talk ocean rise, beachfronts. Yeah, well, see, here's the thing with and we got to really get off this subject real fast. We're going to get on the X and get off the X just like that. So yes, beachfront property will degrade, but there are islands that disappear because of what they're made on, and what we build on. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you build 100 homes on a sandbar, then the ocean will eventually eat it. So there is something like that. Uh, Ian, that's hilarious. I'm not a scientist, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express. There you go. Let's see. Andy says insurance companies will still be writing policies on coastal property when that stops. Start worrying. Exactly. Let's see here. Tuck says, I live in the same coastal community my entire life. Zero sea level rise. Absolutely. JB says, my church was going to send supplies and prepare funds this past Sunday, but they were told to hold off until attention wanes a little bit. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Um, yeah, y- there's things that I want to say about what's happening um, over in North Carolina, Tennessee area. But, Georgia got smashed. Florida just got smashed. Florida got smashed twice. Um, but there's some issues that are happening over there in on the North Carolina, Tennessee border that are very, very, very weird. Very unreported weird stuff is happening. So we're going to not make that part of this stream. Maybe that'll be something else. All right, maybe I'll make that. Maybe I'll do that for the members only. If you guys aren't a member, you might want to think about joining because things are going to change. There are now 15, 16 days left until, yeah, until that happens, until something happens that nobody really wants to talk about here in the live stream, but that's fine with me. All right, let's see here. So we talked about climate change. Geopolitical challenges, 75% that will still be a country based on geopolitical challenges. International competition, particularly with China, will influence America's global standing and domestic stability. Geopolitical challenges could lead to increased military spending, economic strain, and shifting alliances. Shifting alliances. Shifting alliances. Let that one sit into your brain housing group. If the U.S. handles international diplomacy well, it could maintain its global influence. If it falters, like it currently is, it could face internal divisions over foreign policy, particularly if economic or military pressure grows at home. We're already seeing this, but according to the AIs, 75% chance will still be America if that's an issue. Let's see here. Number 6, technological distribution and innovation. Currently 80%. That's a pretty good number. Americans lead in technological innovation with industries like AI, biotech, and energy shaping the global future. While this positions the U.S. well for the future, technological disruptions like job displacement from automation, we've already seen that, could create social and economic challenges, particularly if policies don't address the societal impact. Managing tech advancements while ensuring economic stability could help the U.S. maintain cohesion. So I'm going to read that last statement for you one more time. Managing tech advancements while ensuring economic stability could help the U.S. maintain cohesion. So what happens with technology and our economy? They're directly connected together. If one or the other fails, then we could have a bad day. We could have a bad day. All right, let's see here. I'm going to check the chat here. Right, it looks like something rolled in. Cindy says, "I talked some Amish into changing their trip over election week due to the world issues. Better safe to hold them. I drive 8 hours just to pick them up." Yes, absolutely. We actually have a concern because our um, I guess son, I don't even know how to say that really. The girlfriend's son who lives with us, um, kind of. It's a co-parenting issue. Anyway, it's all positive. So he has his school has a trip planned to DC to go to the arts region in DC um, the week after the election. So we're a little concerned. Um, the school doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to be. But I kind of feel like they're kind of walking into some mess. But I also feel like if things went down, the school would cancel the trip. So hopefully everything will be fine. But yes, Cindy, that's extremely smart. Um, Rose says, I want to know what the truth is. This can't be all misinformation posted by people in areas. What is real? There's no way to tell what's real. That's the problem, Rose, because we get all of our information from different places because we can't trust our news organizations anymore because they're nothing more than political opinion channels. And so it's a problem. It's a real problem. It's also one of the reasons I try to stay away from speculation. You know, this kind of live stream is actually kind of rare for me if you guys know anything about what's been happening in the live stream for the past 3 months. So, but I thought it was interesting because we're going to get to some answers that may surprise you, may surprise you. So, let's see here. Number 8, national security and internal stability. Sip of coffee. Come on, Jerry. I actually made this cup and put it in my store for a friend of the channel because every time we would have a live stream, a members only, well, it's actually a Discord chat. It's like Zoom, but it's on Discord. Um, and we do one every Thursday at 7 p.m. And he would come in and he would start to say something and we'd be like, "Come on, Jerry," and he would just giggle a little bit. He's a nice guy. Um, National security and internal stability, 80%. It's our highest number. It's our highest number. It's making things sounds good. So domestic terrorism, political violence, and rising crime rates in some areas pose a risk to internal security. However, the U.S. still maintains strong national security apparatuses that work to prevent large scale violence. The greater threat may come from cyber attacks or infrastructure sabotage, which could weaken confidence in federal governance if not managed properly. We're already starting to feel this, guys. We're already starting to feel this. We know that people have hacked into um, water treatment facilities, our financial infrastructure, pretty much any place that you can think of to get into that would really mess us up, they've got into. I don't know that they've got into any of the power infrastructure or power control, electricity. But hey, could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, let's see here. Let's see. We got some stuff coming in, but let's go ahead and move on to number 9. I'll play catch up with you guys in a second. Once again, this is where I say something, you write something, I talk about what you wrote. If that doesn't happen, then we just move on. All right. So media misinformation and trust in institutions is at 60% to keep us cohesive. 60%. The rise of social media and the spread of misinformation have weakened trust in traditional institutions, including the government, media, and education. If this trend continues, it could deepen divisions and make consensus or consensus on critical issues even harder to achieve. The erosion of trust in institutions could fuel separatists or anti government sentiments, particularly in states where the federal government is seen as overreaching. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. And the fact that we're only at 60% in the positive on this means that we could rapidly go south. We could go rapidly go south. All right, number 10. Health crisis and I don't even want to say it. We're past 30 minutes. So pandemics, we're at 75%. So basically the numbers are good. But um, the last pandemic revealed vulnerabilities in the US healthcare system and public health infrastructure. Future pandemics of health crises, if mismanaged, could have severe social and economic impacts. However, lessons learned from that could help the nation prepare better for future crises, fostering resilience. Health crises also tend to unite countries in the short term, but prolonged crises could lead to further social fracturing if responses are uneven or politicized, which we already see. So the fact that we're talking about it means that we've already learned from it. So we learned a lot of really good stuff. Unfortunately, one of the things that we learned, it came late, it came hard for a lot of people, is that we couldn't trust our government to tell us the truth. So it is a thing. It is a thing. All right, so going to the chat, I'm sorry, to the poll, looks like we have 40 votes and currently 38%, 39%. It's very unlikely that we will be a unified country in 2088. And when I say unified, I mean the United States of America could not, could possibly not exist by 2080. All right, so if you take all the data and you throw it all together, um, basically, you know, after assessing the above factors, I would estimate that there is about a 70% chance that America will remain a single cohesive nation in the next 20 years. That's hard to say. You would think there would be more than that, but you know, this estimate takes into account the United States' historical resilience and capacity to reform, but also weighs the rising pressures of political division, economic challenges, and, believe it or not, a little bit of climate change. While the nation faces significant risks, it strengthens its strengths in economic diversity, technological leadership, and national security give it a solid foundation. The next 2 decades will likely test America's adaptability and its ability to bridge divides, both political and social. Whether or not the U.S. can maintain unity will largely depend on leadership, public policy, and the collective will of its citizens to address the challenges that we're currently seeing. Now, with that said, let me go to the chat here real quick because I'm about to say some stuff that's going to change. It may change your minds. It may change your minds. Let's see here, guys. It says here that we have 32 viewers in the chat. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. I can only see a handful here, but I won't make any assumptions because it says I only have three. And I don't believe that for a second. So do me a favor, guys, if you could do that, it does help with the algorithm. I'm going to go to the chat here real quick. Where are we at here? Cindy says, "No, we did the Amish. Want to know the truth? I know this has been going on since 9/11. Very true. Let's see here. There are no more Cronkites or Murrows. Absolutely true. 100% true. 100% true. All right, guys. So we have got to that point in the live stream where we need to show our patriotism. If you love your country, no matter how bad the numbers are, put a one in the chat. Okay. And I will continue to read the information that you like to hear. I'm going to drink some coffee first, though. I'm almost done with my first cup. Oh, say, can you? Nope, not going to happen. That cup's getting cold. I mean, probably need to get this other cup going. Probably need to start touching this other cup. There we go. The militarist. Good to see you, Broseph. Good to see you. Okay, so after I did that, I was like, okay, we need to dig deeper. We need to dig deeper. We've got this super analytical AI predicting our future, and it's got to know more. So I basically changed the question and said, basically, based on the analysis, where do you see us in 40 years? So now we're moving out to 2060. 2060. Now, before I do that, Miko has put something in the chat. And good morning, Miko. Since people want leaders, do you have to pick the right one with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and they will defend with their life, and this country will stand forever? It's hard to understand what you're saying, Miko, but I think I get the general gist that we should be. We should be picking somebody who believes in the Constitution. We should not be picking somebody who wants to tear the Constitution apart. Anybody, it's so mind-blowing that there are people out there that we started our nation with two sides, believe it or not. They would just rename the name of the parties, but we've forgotten that we had this group of people that believed that, guys, did you know that we went for years without a real federal government? That each one of these states had complete autonomy, that they could go to war with another state. They had armies if they wanted to make one. I'm not saying go back to that. I'm saying realize where we came from. And the two major factors in our political system were that one believed in very small government and that their job was to protect the people, the defense of our nation. And that's going to morph out to other things as we grow. Things will always change. But there was another side that believed that government was the answer. It's never been the answer. Government has never done anything right other than wage war because that's what it was designed to do, protect the nation. And whether that means projecting power or defending the homeland, it didn't matter. That was their job, and they're very good at it. The government is very good at it. But they turned it into things that they're doing things with it that they shouldn't be. And Miko's question is very to the point. We should be electing someone who believes in the Constitution, you know, and that isn't trying to rewrite it, that isn't trying to change everything about it so that they can have more control. That's I don't understand why people don't understand that the people that are on that wear the red ties are just leave us the hell alone. They have yellow flags with snakes on them. Leave us alone. And the people that wear the blue ties just want to be able to control everything for the good of the nation because they don't believe the sheeple. They don't believe that anybody should do anything. They just want everything to be kumbaya and touchy-feely and you know, they want government. That's what they believe in. So okay, so we actually do have a lot to cover. I see you guys have put something in there, and that was an awesome comment, Miko. I wish I could get it up on the screen with the software I'm using today, but I can't. So I appreciate you, bro. Let's see here. And right now, I want to see one right now. I shouldn't have permission. No names. There you go. America's people first. America countries first before any other country. There you go. So Spag showed up. Good to see you, you slacker. You're late. You're 41 minutes late. We're talking about your favorite subject. How will America last? Government. Big government. We know how you love big government so much, Spags. Yeah, actually, guys, you guys know I'm being facetious. Spags hates the government. Let's see. We all watch Terminator, all the series. Better like it or let it happen. I'm not with it. Is Bolshevik by any other name? It's still a Bolshevik. There you go. There you go. Let's see here. So, like I said, I went deeper. I went down that rabbit hole deep, 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 and I kept asking these questions over. I would basically say, and I really wish I wrote the questions down. Um, Based on your current analysis, Mr. GPT, what if we change the number instead of 2040 to 2060? And it replied, it said, given these long term factors, I estimate a 55%. So we went from 70% in 20 years to 55% in 40 years of surviving, of becoming a single, unified, cohesive nation. It estimated a 55% chance that America will remain a unified country by 2060. While the country has a long history of overcoming challenges, the risks of political polarization, economic disparity, climate change, and social fragmentation are likely to increase over the next 4 decades. The U.S. will need to address these issues through reform, adaptation, and fostering national cohesion to avoid further divisions. However, with rising pressures on the federal system and increasing regional tensions, the chances of fragmentation are significantly higher than in the short term of 20 years. If the country cannot address these challenges effectively, the odds of remaining a unified nation could diminish further by 2060. Interesting. So it's still, now we're still only talking about 40 years. We're only talking 40 years down the road, right? And so 40 years is your children into almost our age. Yeah, maybe yeah, our age right now. So what would they be dealing with in 40 years? And so yeah, I had to push. I had to let's go another. Let's add another 20 years because it's amazing what you can get these machines to do based using science. Oh, 40%, guys. The probability of America remaining a single country in the year 2080, by the year 2080, is only 40%. And if you know anything about statistics, once you go below 50% on anything, it follows the rule of diminishing returns. That means things go downhill rapidly. By 2080, the cumulative effects of political, economic, environmental, and social challenges could significantly reduce the likelihood of Americans remaining a unified country. The chances of fragmentation will increase, driven by deepening polarization, economic inequality, and possibly climate related regional impacts and erosion of trust in institutions. However, there remains a 40% chance of the country staying intact, largely depending on the ability of future leaders to enact substantial reforms, promote national cohesion, and effectively manage the challenges ahead. Historically, America has demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity, but maintaining unity by 2080 will require navigating a far more complex and divided landscape than ever before. You know, I pushed it out to 2080 just to see, but it became very like it lost a lot of detail just to see how far it would go because it can only analyze so much information, based off of, historical data. And there's a lot of details. But the thing is there's like our history isn't written. So it's kind of interesting, how it was less detailed. And, you know, um, so then I just asked it flat out, does your analysis show that America, a single unified country, will cease to exist in 80 years. And it was interesting what it kicked back. So, based on analysis, it suggested that there is a significant possibility that America could cease to exist as a single unified country within the next 80 years. The projected 40% chance of remaining unified by 2080 reflects the growing risks of fragmentation due to various long term pressures. And then it listed them, and then it listed those things. I want you to think about this. So, if we just go out to 80 years, what we're really talking about is our grandchildren into their 20s and maybe 30s, what they would be in. You know what I'm saying? It's a great way to project what may be happening to our grandchildren, and those are the people that I think about a lot. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I'm gonna take a sip of this is coffee is that coffee's cold. I need this coffee. It's in the good cup. You can buy these at my shop. I don't even think I've got a link to my shop in the description. So all right, I'm gonna go to the chat here real quick here. Uh, let's see here. If we don't find some middle ground, we can't be united. See, West Virginia Pappy, that's the thing about America. When we started talking about if we're going to be a country in 20 years, it actually said that it was one of our greatest strengths is that we could unify around being an American. And one of the things that's really scary is that you talk to the youth of today and they hate America. They don't know why, the whole colonist, you're a colonizer, you know what I'm saying? It's like, define that for me. Shut up, stupid. And then they walk away. They don't know even the slightest bit about what they're talking about, but they'll vote and they'll think with emotions instead of facts. And I'm not talking about the victor writes the history. I'm talking about like legitimate facts. And so they won't do that. Let's see here. Uh, Mock the monster. Thank you guys. Do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. It does help. It does help. And it's free. It's free. So do it. Um, Andy says, I fully support states exiting the union. What benefits are there to remain? Um, well, the benefits are that you would be a single. So what happens to a state that is landlocked and the other states decide that they want to control the ports and now they can extort the landlocked states for supplies? Yeah, that's what they can do. They could extort other states to allow planes to fly over their land because now we're talking about nation states. Yeah, that could happen. You'd have to have agreements. You'd have to have some kind of document that says we're if you attack them, you attack us. That we're going to be working economically together. Oh yeah, and then it starts to sound like some hodgepodge between the good, which would be the American Constitution, the articles. There's articles. I believe it's Article 4. Um, and then, or worse, which would be something very similar to the European Union, which is just awful, awful. So that's what would happen. Um, let's see here. Tuck says, I wonder if the AI accounted for the statistical likely occurrence of a revolution and/or civil war, just as far as the ages of the U.S. and time elapsed since the last ones, we are overdue by years. Yes, it did not speak to that, but here's the thing: a lot of the things that it spoke to were directly related to the delusion, or not the delusion, the disillusion, okay, or the dissolvement. What's the word I'm looking at of our Constitution being dissolved? Okay, um, and that would bring a lot of states together. That would basically, I believe, would probably force another revolution. So that the government wouldn't win. See, here's the thing, guys. A lot of people talk about revolution in the United States. And you've got to really think about the government. You've got to think about the locations of our military installations. Literally, a military installation is 100% isolated from the government. Okay, if 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 a buttload of people showed up at the gates of a military installation and said, "Bring me the commander. I want to talk to him." The commander would come because he has relationships with the civilian community. He has to have it. And then the community just says, "Guys, what you're doing," he starts to lay out the layout of how things are going to be, and the military, the base commander would literally have no choice other than to watch defenses be ripped down, and it's it, it all comes down to there's more of us than there are of them. Okay, the power of the military upon the civilian populace is Nothing compared to the power of the human beings. So hopefully we'll never have to see that. Let's see here. Backup coffee. I like it. Sass up. Sassed up. Good to see you. Sassed up. You sassed up. Are you who I think you are? Because I'm looking at your little picture icon here, and I can't make it bigger. And you look like somebody that I know. Go to channel. Go to channel. I only have. Well, hello, young lady. Nice to see you. I shall subscribe to your channel right now. All guys, do me a favor. Go to Sassed Up and subscribe to her channel. She probably has nothing there, but one day she might want to do something with it. Young lady, it's good to see you. Well, you sneaky broad. I've known Sassed Up for a long time. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Cindy Hoff says, "I'm glad I won't be here in 2080. Don't want to leave a bad legacy of future generations to handle." Absolutely true. I think about my grandchildren all the time. All right, Dog and Ball's been making salad for 160 students, but I don't trust AI at all. It's like Reagan said, trust but verify. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some of the things that could cause this. Okay, so like I said, the projected 40% chance of remaining unified by 2080 reflects the growing risk of fragmentation due to various long-term pressures. The first one is political polarization. Many people so political polarization. So many people serve that governance at the federal level breaks down. Um, it could become so severe that happens, that governance at the federal level breaks down, leading to states or regions seeking greater autonomy or even cessation. We just briefly talked about it, but why would a state secede from the union? Well, because they don't believe in what the federal government is doing. That's the only reason to do it. That's the only reason to do it. Economic disparities and the economic disparities and the unequal distribution of wealth and resources could foster resentment between regions, especially as some states like California or Texas might feel they no longer benefit from a remaining part of the union. I think it's ironic. I think it's ironic that the AI picked California and Texas because when we think about that movie that came out, somebody put in the chat the name of that movie. Oh, it's Civil War. The two states that were standing together to fight against the federal government were, survey says, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Let's see here. Miko says 2080 will be way over 100 years. I'll be way over 100 years old. It's up to the young ones, the teaching well American patriots, no pun intended, but they die for our freedom. It'll be I was going to say it's going to be interesting, but it's not. It's not going to be fun for these people if we don't get a handle on what is happening right now in 21 days. This could be the demise of our nation. And it's like everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be the end of it. It's going to be the end of the world. It's going to be the end of our country." It's people are already saying to me in the real world, they're already saying to me, "Oh my God, I just can't handle another 4 years of Biden, Obama, whatever's." We've so many promises are being made right now. I think now Kamala is like going after the black vote. It's like, wait a minute, why are you black? Why are you going after the black vote? That's interesting because it means, and I mean, it's truly interesting because factually it means that she doesn't have the support of the black community. Oh my God, did she just realize that? Did she just figure that out? Or did she just assume that it was going to happen because she's just that freaking good? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see here. Cindy says, just voted again recently. Plus rumors, news of militias and state devastated by recent weather. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that, Cindy, because I've got a little bit of, I have a theory on that one that I'm going to save. I'm going to save for the members, and I'll probably put that video out today. Okay, so let's see here. We're not going to talk about climate change. That's stupid. Stupid. Social fragmentation, driven by issues like race, class, and identity politics, may weaken a shared sense of national identity, making unity harder to maintain. It's true. It's very true. Erosion of trust in institutions could result in a large portion of the population losing faith in the federal government, furthering separatists, or I just clicked on something, furthering separatist movements. So the basis here is that these trends they indicate that while America might still survive as a nation, the possibility of fragmentation is substantial over an 80-year time frame. However, it's also important to note that this analysis does not definitively conclude that America will cease to exist. It highlights the growing risks and suggests that the country would need to navigate these challenges effectively to remain unified. With all everybody going to hell in a handbasket, there is still a 40% chance of remaining a single country by 2080, which means that while the risks of division are real, they are not yet inevitable. How the U.S. responds to these challenges through reforms, crisis management, and fostering unity will ultimately determine its fate. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting because it's like if you pick door number one, we can reunify the country. I mean, and it's clear. It's clear. Or if you pick door number two, we can continue down this divisive, overreaching, over controlling nanny state, you know, uh, memo to the public of that no one reads because they believe in something like a religion instead of believing something like a fact. And I think it's detrimental. I think it's detrimental, and that we have to, we've moved beyond looking at things, and now we have to look at how we're going to prepare for the next 80 years. And I won't be alive. My children may still be alive. My grandchildren will be alive. And how are we leaving this world for them? How will the rest of the world respond to the United States not being the United States? It's a hard question. It's a hard question to even think about. There'd be a lot of what ifs. So I think now we just have to stick to our principles, stick to our guns. That is for sure. That is the one thing that has kept us going so long is guns. What will happen? The government, if the government made a power play, how would it come out for them? Probably not very well. Probably probably the things we see in the movie theaters would be very similar to what we would see in the real world if they decided that was the path that they wanted to go down. Okay, so a couple of things. Make sure that you guys, whether you're watching this now or whether you are watching it on the replay crew, grindstoneministries.com, go there, figure out a way to help them out. They do have an Amazon list, they do have a donation site, they do have a place where you can email them to serve. And I look forward to you guys doing something for them as well as everybody else is doing something for them. Solid organization. The next thing is if you are not a member, guys, there's 15 days. There's 15 days and things are going to change. I have said it several times in the Discord. I will make another video today about what is going to be happening. It will be posted in the Discord, in the general as well as in the members areas. And things are changing. Things are going to be changing. And if you're not a member on the YouTube side, then your screen may look very different is what I'll say. And then yeah, that's going to be about it. Hit that thumbs up on the way out the door. Um, if you're not a subscriber, I recommend that you do subscribe to the channel. I'm here Monday through Friday, normally 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. And as usual, stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Talk to you later. Bye bye. I got too many cameras. We'll talk to you later, guys. Let's see here. We're gonna put I don't know. We're gonna do something. Something's gonna happen here. Let's do that.